Orbiter X! Episode 7, The Price of Survival. At the headquarters of the Commonwealth Space Project in Woomera, Colonel Kent is unaware that the Orbiter X assembly crew, led by Captain Bob Britton, have been taken to the moon base of the Unity organization. Bob has remained in the base in order to cover the escape of Douglas McClelland and Hickey. They are attempting to make their getaway in a robot projectile which has arrived on the moon from Woomera and is designed to return to the Earth. Dr. Max Kramer, the Unity leader, warns them by radio that he will launch missiles against them if they go ahead with their plan. Ignoring the warning, they take off. Moments later, they are rocked by the explosion of the first missile. Realizing that the projectile must have been diverted from its course and may have been turned into orbit around the moon, Mac opens the hatch and looks out in the hope of obtaining visual bearings.
I'm afraid you're in for a shock, Hickey, old son. We haven't turned into orbit. It's worse than that.
You mean we're not heading for Earth?
No.
Well, where are we heading for?
As far as I can judge, we're heading straight out towards infinity.
Eh? What do you mean?
Well, come and see for yourself.
Oh, don't worry, I'm coming.
Do you recognize the surface of the moon underneath us?
No, it looks different.
It is. We're looking down at the side that's always turned away from the Earth.
Ah, so that's it.
Yeah. We don't need instruments to tell us we're traveling the opposite way from home.
Hello? The port jets are cutting. That means we've passed escape velocity.
So in a couple of seconds, we'll be in free flight.
Yes. A flight that can last for eternity, eh? Shut up in a chunk of flying metal with no instruments, no controls, no pressurized cabin, and no means of getting out of these spacesuits ever again.
Yeah. We've got to face up to the situation. It's pretty grim.
How long do you think we can hold out?
Well, the oxygen cylinders that keep us going for 3 or 4 days.
Well, we'll have nothing to worry about after that.
No, we'll just be part of a very small planet, I suppose. I'm sorry you had to be in on this, Hickey.
Why? What do you mean?
You've got a wife and a couple of kids. I've got no responsibilities.
I reckon I've behaved as if I hadn't either, Mac.
I wouldn't say that.
Well, if I'd stayed in the Navy, I might have had a nice little shore job by now. Not too bad with the Chief Petty Officer's pay and allowances these days, but no, I went and transferred to this lark.
Why? Why did you do it?
Same reason you and Bob transferred from the Air Force, I suppose. It was a sort of a challenge. I was always a sucker for anything like that.
Yeah, I know.
Look at me. I'm talking as if we'd got one foot in the grave already. Now we better snap out of it. I reckon I'll have a look at the engines. Can't do any harm, and you never know, I might hit on something useful.
Good idea, I'll join you. Give us something to do. I don't suppose we'll be having any more interruptions, eh?
No, I should think that man Kramer and his stooge, what's his name, Neeson, they'd have written us off by now. I expect they're enjoying themselves, watching us on the scanner down there in their moon headquarters.
Yeah, and if I know anything about those blighters, they'll make sure that Bob's watching too. The poor chap must be having a pretty bad time.
Yes, I bet he is. And he's on his own now. One man against Unity.
You're looking upset, Captain Britton.
Does that surprise you?
Yes. I expected you to show better self-control. Remember, you have only yourself to blame for the present situation.
Hello, this is ship Unity 5 calling MHQ. Unity 5 bound from Earth to Moon headquarters. Are you receiving me?
That's Gilbin. You speak to him, Neeson.
Of course. Hello, Unity 5. This is MHQ answering you.
The damaged projectile is now visible on my screen, bearing QZ54TK7, range 15,000. Its engines are stopped and its line of flight is steady.
Good. Neeson, tell him to maintain his present course. I shall expect him to land here at 21:59.
Very good. Hello. MHQ to Unity 5.
Yes, I am listening.
You will hold to your course and touch down at 21:59. There will be no deviation.
Message understood.
That is all.
No, hold on. That ship could be diverted. It could intercept the projectile.
For what purpose? Explain yourself.
You know perfectly well what I'm driving at.
No. In the matter of mind reading, you have the advantage, Britain.
All right. Unity 5 could change course now, and by increasing its speed, it could meet the projectile at a point which, well, it can be worked out right away on the computer.
But the projectile has ceased to be important.
What sort of man are you? McClellan and Hicks must be taken off before it's too late. Gelbin is in a position to do that. This is the only chance we shall have.
We? Are you now associating yourself with Unity?
For the purpose of the rescue, yes, I am.
That is not enough.
You mean you'll do nothing to help those men out there?
Really, Captain Britain, you are too naive. What possible reason could I have for bringing back people who threaten the security of my organization? Where is the advantage to me? There is none.
All right. What's your price?
For the survival of your friends?
Yes.
So you wish to bargain?
Yes, Kramer, I know what you want. I'll give you all the information you need to assemble Orbiter X, if you will bring McClellan and Hicks back here alive and well.
I welcome your new approach, but I should need more than mere information.
What do you mean?
I should require your active assistance in the assembly work. I should also require your solemn pledge to carry it out to the best of your ability.
I give you my word on that.
Are you quite sure?
Yes.
Very well. Neeson, turn the trackers onto the projectile.
Yes, Dr. Kramer. There you see its course up to date, and the predicted course.
Yes. Interception is still possible. Call Unity 5.
Right, Dr. Kramer.
Tell Gelbin to stand by for instructions. I shall work out his navigation details myself.
Colonel Kent?
Yes?
Sir Charles Day, the Minister of Astronautics, is here, sir.
Oh, Sir Charles. Do come in.
Oh, thank you. Well, Kent, I flew up from Canberra as soon as I could after I got your telephone call.
That's very good of you. Do sit down. Can I get you something to drink? Scotch?
Oh, thank you.
Good.
Thanks. I'm most interested to hear the recording of the radio signal you were telling me about.
Ah, yes. Well, I've got it here on tape. But before you listen to it, I'd like you to look at this picture. It's just been radioed through from our Canadian observatory at Fort Churchill.
Another photograph of the moon?
Yes. As you see, it shows the third quadrant in fair detail. You'll recognize the Wargentin area.
Yes, of course. That's where our projectile should have landed.
Quite so, and it's the area where the UFO was spotted sometime previously.
Exactly.
Now, naturally, we can't expect to see any strange objects on a telescope picture like this.
No.
But our Canadian colleagues sent it straight through to Woomera because they thought they would be interested in the spot of light which you can see just off the moon's rim above Wargentin.
Yes. What is it?
Well, it must be an explosion.
Explosion?
Fantastic as it sounds, I believe that the projectile has been deliberately destroyed by some intelligent agent. Remember, it was bringing us back film, and whoever this agent is, he had to make sure that it never reached us.
Yes. We shall have to go into this very carefully.
I think we should. And now, shall I play the recording I mentioned to you?
Ah, yes, this extraordinary message that was picked up at Alice Springs.
Yes, well, it's very short. Here it is.
Wrong with the CSP ships. A hostile Unity. Take over Orbiter X as a preliminary.
Is that all?
Yes.
Do you recognize the voice?
Well, it was very distorted, but it seemed to me that it could have been Captain Britain speaking.
Well, of course, now you're opening up a completely new line of thought. As far as we know, Britain and his crew died in their ship Orbiter 2, which is still circling around the Earth.
Yes, I realize it sounds fantastic, but it's significant that at the moment when this message was transmitted, Orbiter 2 was traveling directly over us. I've marked its position here on the astral chart.
I see.
I agree that the message doesn't make much sense as it stands, but I've tried filling in the blanks by putting in the sort of words that would fit the context. May I read you the result?
Do, by all means.
Right. Well, I think the message could read, "There is nothing wrong with the CSP ships. A hostile power called Unity is planning to take over Orbiter X as preliminary to an attack on the Commonwealth. Invasion, it's impossible to say."
I take it you've spoken to the communications department about this message?
Yes, well, they say that technically it's quite possible that it did come from Britain's ship.
Well, while we're in the realm of possibilities, we might as well go the whole hog. Looking at this chart, I noticed that at the time when our mysterious message was transmitted, the Earth, the ship, and the moon were in a straight line with one another.
Yes?
You suggest that the message was transmitted from the ship. But surely, from the technical point of view, it might equally well have been transmitted from the moon.
Oh.
And that, my dear Kent, might have some bearing on the explosion picture and the fate of the projectile.
Well, there's no doubt about it, Mac. Everything comes back to the automatic pilot inside this pressurized box. This is the joker that controls everything. Jets, stabilizers, inverters, the lot.
Yeah.
And the trouble is, if we break the seals and try to fiddle with it, we wreck the thing anyway.
Yes. Can only work under pressure. We must think of something else.
Mac, what's wrong?
I'm okay, Hickey.
No, you're not.
Oh, don't worry about me. There's nothing you can do.
What do you mean? What's happened to you?
It's my breathing apparatus. I'll be all right if I stop moving about.
Hold on, I'll give you a new oxygen cylinder.
One I've got's okay. I checked it a few minutes ago.
Well, then, for Pete's sake, what's the trouble?
I think I'm rebreathing too much carbon dioxide. Must be something wrong with the extract. Can't do anything about it while we're in vacuum. It means opening the suit.
Oh, take it easy, Mac.
Oh, I feel so dopey. I'm trying to keep awake. There's a noise in my ears.
It's coming through the intercom. I can hear it too.
And I'm not imagining things.
No. It sounds almost like a carrier wave.
I think I can see the
Listen.
projectile from my scanner.
Can you hear a voice?
Yes, I can. What does it mean?
It must be a freak reception from the Earth. Or it could be from the Unity transmitter on the moon.
Yeah, I wonder.
Hello, MHQ.
Listen.
This is Unity 5 calling MHQ. Are you receiving me?
Am I dreaming?
No, you're not. Now keep still. I'm going to open the hatch. Mac. You must come over here and look.
Why?
I'll give you a hand. Just tell me I'm not imagining things now. I know the sort of crazy ideas you can get in space, but we can't both have the same illusion. Can you see a ship out there?
By all, it's wonderful. Yes, I can. And it's coming alongside.
Hello, MHQ. I can now see them. They have opened the hatch and I am closing in.
It's Gelbin.
Hello, Captain McClelland. Can you hear me?
Yes. We're listening.
Have you got jet pistols to guide yourselves across to my ship?
No. We haven't.
In that case, I will come immediately alongside you.
I don't get it. Why is he doing this? First they try to blow us to bits. Now they're risking a collision to pick us up.
Look out, here he comes.
The outer hatch of my airlock is open. When it is level with you, jump aboard quickly. You understand?
Yes, we understand. I reckon this is a case of Hobson's choice, Hickey. I hope I can make it.
Yes, you'll make it all right. Now then, are you all set?
All set.
That's all right, I've got you. It shouldn't be difficult. There's only about 10 feet between the hulls. We can't go wrong. And we can't fall. Right. Now, push off and over we go. Are you okay?
Yes, just about.
Good. You'll soon be breathing clear air again. Right now, into the lock. That's the stuff. Now I'm closing the outer hatch. You hear that, Mac? The air's coming in.
Oh, good.
I don't know what's behind all this, or whether we shall land back on the Earth or the Moon. But the one thing that matters at the moment is we've got another lease of life.
Hello, MHQ. Unity 5 calling MHQ.
Hello, Unity 5. MHQ answering you.
Mission completed. I have McClelland and Hicks on board and am approaching base.
Good. Your course and rate of descent are correct. You will touch down on number 1 landing platform.
Message understood.
We are standing by.
Neeson, have you made the preparations for immediate refueling?
Yes, Dr. Kramer. The ground staff have been told.
Well, Captain Britton, we've kept our side of the bargain.
Yes, and I shall keep mine.
Now that you have observed our efficiency at first hand, I hope that you will cooperate with good spirit.
You certainly are efficient, Kramer.
Of course. Every member of Unity is a specialist in his own particular field. And as you know, all over the world we have experts sending us up-to-the-minute information of scientific developments. Our technical progress is therefore not surprising. But now I imagine that you will wish to satisfy yourself that McClellan and Hicks are safe and well.
Yes, I'd like to see them.
So you shall, after the refueling is complete. In the meantime, you should check your spacesuit.
We're going outside?
Yes, we are going aboard Unity 5 as soon as it lands.
Oh, why?
The Commonwealth Space Project has spent a great deal of time and money training you for a specific job. We shall now see how effectively you can put your training into practice.
You mean we're to start assembling the space station right away?
That is exactly what I mean. As soon as Gelbin's ship is refueled and ready for flight, we shall take off for Orbiter X. In other words, the people at Woomera are now going to have their work done for them, but perhaps not in a way that they will appreciate.
Yes, I thought you'd be surprised to hear me talking about radio signals from the moon, Colonel Kent. But after all, we are living in an age when almost anything's possible.
My dear Sir Charles, I couldn't agree with you more.
The point is that as Minister of Astronautics, I've got to go very carefully. I'm always prepared to supply the Commonwealth governments with intelligent theories based on expert opinion. But we're not going to get any material backing until we produce hard and fast facts.
I quite understand.
Well, what have we got? The components of the space station were launched into orbit without undue difficulty. We didn't really run into trouble until Captain Bradley took off in his ship Orbiter 1, but we lost all contact with him.
And it was the same story when Captain Britton tried to go to his relief in Orbiter 2.
Quite. But he did succeed in getting one WT message through, warning us that there is a basic fault in the design of our ships.
If you accept my construction of the latest message, you'll have to discard the first one as a trick. It may not have been sent by Britain at all.
Perhaps not, but I'm trying to concentrate on the facts. Now, what have we got next? We had a reliable report that a UFO was sighted over the Wargentin area of the moon.
Yes?
And as a result, I agreed to the launching of the projectile. Again, we lost track of it because of interference, which blotted it out just before it landed in Wargentin.
And now we have the pictures of an explosion over that very same area. There's no doubt something is going on up there.
Yes, but unfortunately we haven't got the means of landing a man on the moon and proving it.
No, but give me permission to take off and examine Orbiter 2, and I might find the solution to some of our problems.
Yeah. Our electronics people are working on the interference transmissions, aren't they?
Yes, and at the same time, one group is developing a deflector system which could screen our own ships.
How long will it be before they can start testing on the ground?
Well, they say it might be any time now.
And, of course, this is terribly important. If a hostile force really is working against us, those deflectors would help to change the entire situation. In fact, I'll make you a promise.
Yes?
They shall be fitted to a ship the moment they're ready for a test. You can travel aboard that ship and try them out in space. And if by any chance you should happen to find yourself alongside Orbiter 2, what is it, 1,200 miles above the surface of the Earth?
Yes, well...
Do I have to say any more?
No, thank you very much indeed. And now, if you'll excuse me, I have rather urgent business to hurry along in the electronics department.
There you have it, chaps. We're approaching the space station components now, and I've pledged myself to work on them until the job's done.
I'm more than grateful, Bob.
Yes, me too.
But what a price to pay for saving our skins.
There's more to it than that. You don't worry. Just do as I say.
Captain Britain,
Hello?
we are about to turn into orbit. Will you please give your attention to the scanning screen?
All right, I'm coming over, Gelvin. What's your altitude?
We are 1,050 miles above the surface of the Earth. As you see, we are now passing over the northern ice cap. According to my calculations, the Orbiter X component should be visible on the screen.
Yes, there. Look, they're coming up now.
Now I will start matching our speed to their orbital velocity. Get into your seats and fasten your belts.
Before we come alongside, we shall require some preliminary information from you, Britain.
Very well.
I'm opening the retrojet. Stand by.
You can start talking, Britain.
Well, you're now looking at the cluster of rockets which contain the components of the space station.
Mm-hmm.
As you see, each rocket has a large identity number painted on the hull.
Yes.
We should position ourselves as near as possible to number 1.
What is the importance of number 1, Britain?
Well, that's where the officer in charge of the assembly will make his headquarters. It contains the workshops and a large-scale plan of the complete station.
We will start then by looking at the plan. And you can put us completely in the picture.
One more burst and we shall be alongside. There.
Good. Open the inner hatch of the airlock. Now you will cross over to the rocket, Britain, and bring the plan back to us here.
Very well. Mac, Hickey, you better come with me. You can start setting up the workshop gear.
Okay.
I am glad to see that you are now all willing to cooperate.
I take my orders from Captain Britain.
Of course.
Britain, have any special provisions been made for radio communication between the workshops and the assembly crews when they start working on the other rockets?
Oh, no, we decided to rely on normal helmet intercom. Setting up the radio proper will be a major job. It can't be tackled until the station has been fitted together.
Then how did you propose to keep in touch with CSP Woomera during the assembly period?
Oh, by the transport ship's radio. We assumed that there'd always be plenty of our ships around.
I see.
Mac, is your breathing apparatus okay now?
Yes, quite okay.
Right. Close helmets. We'll get into the airlock. I'll be back shortly, Kramer.
With the plan.
Yes. Come on, here we go, chaps.
Close the hatch on them, Gelbin. Well, we seem to have tamed them at last.
Yes. There's no doubt that Britain will keep his word. And of course the others will carry out his instructions.
Exactly. They will save us a great deal of time and effort on the construction work. And when it is completed, we shall be in a position to launch our attack.
Good.
And I think our first target will be Woomera, just in case they should consider further launchings.
Does it not seem to you that CSP have been suspiciously inactive?
Strangled by what they call red tape.
This is Earth Headquarters calling Unity 5. EHQ to Unity 5. Come in, please. Urgent.
I will take it. Hello, EHQ. Unity 5 answering you.
Dr. Kramer, I regret I have bad news. There is serious trouble at the interference transmitter.
What has happened?
Fire broke out in the main generating room, and it has spread to the transmitter hall. The fire squad are trying to get it under control, but screening transmissions may be cut at any moment.
Impossible. How did it start?
There must have been a fault in the power cables. The engineers are working on the emergency transmitter, but you are in danger of being picked up on the CSP tracking screens. You must return to headquarters with all speed.
I shall be back immediately. And tell the chief engineer I hold him responsible. He will answer to me personally.
There can be no excuses.
None at all. A situation like this could be disastrous.
Yes, of course. And now we have to rely entirely on the ship's deflectors to screen us. I will recall Britton and his team right away.
You will do nothing of the sort. He can do us no harm.
But how long can they survive in space?
We must think of our security. There is no time to lose. Start the compressors and open the jets. Britton and his friends must take a chance.
So ends the 7th episode of Orbiter X, an adventure in the conquest of space by B.D. Chapman. It was produced for the BBC by Charles Maxwell.